Gaurakatha Damdaya Navigram Karni Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namni Namaste Saraswat Devi Gaurvani Pracharne Nirvisesh Sunvadi Paschat Deshtarne Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 12, Chapter 5, the explanation from text 1. I'll just read the translation since he already read out Sanskrit and all that yesterday. Sukadeva Goswami said, this Srimad Bhagavatam has elaborately described in various narrations the supreme soul of all that be the personality of Godhead Hari, from whose satisfaction Brahma is born and from whose anger Rudra takes birth. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given a very elaborate summary of Srimad Bhagavatam in his commentary on this verse. The essence of the great Acharya's statement is that the unconditional loving surrender to the Supreme Lord Krishna, as described by Shukadeva Goswami, is the highest perfection of life. The exclusive purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam is to convince the conditioned soul to execute such surrender to the Lord and go back home, back to Godhead. We have to show Krishna that I want only your love. I want only you, not all. I'm not attached to anything material. And so, pure devotional service, that is the emphasis. Unconditional loving service to the Lord. Exclusive purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam is to convince the conditioned soul to execute such surrender to the Lord and go back home, back to Godhead. Normally, in the beginning, we think, oh, Krishna loves me very much, Guru loves me very much, and we are relaxed. What about we have to show how much we love Krishna? And we have to take some difficulties. No matter how difficult it is, Krishna, I'm not going to give excuses, and I will do whatever you ask from me. I will take some difficulties. I will not say that you love me and give all, as it is you're giving a lot of discounts and freebies and making it a lot more easier for us to approach him in this age. But we want it even rock bottom. We don't want to do anything for him. So little bit, that's why unconditionally we have to love him and show him that, and that the love we feel for him, that spiritual love we feel, that strength will overcome all material problems. That is the wonderful thing, that no matter how difficult it seems, we have to have complete faith that if I have love for Krishna and I surrender to him, that will be victorious over every other material problem. And His Holiness Jayaptak Swami is a wonderful example of, extreme example, not that we'll be put into such tests, only he can face that. How much difficulty, and he's facing now his health issues, and he wants to be in Vrindavan. He wants to give association for the safari devotees. He wants to be there for initiation. Initiation is already started, in the sense the Yajna in Vrindavan, and at 10 o'clock giving names. Imagine, it's such a great responsibility for Guru Maharaj. It's not just handing out beads and giving names. He is actually connecting every soul to Krishna and taking their karmas and passing it on and all that. It's a big thing. And I hope his determination against all odds will win, and he will be able to give his at least darshan on Zoom or something for the devotees, the initiates. I hope he's able to do that, because he's so strongly, and yesterday Maharaj Prabhu also said how Guru Maharaj is so determined. How Guru Maharaj is so determined to go to Vrindavan. That will, so ultimately whatever he wants is getting done. He wanted to establish all the Pada Peeth in all the places of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's visit. All that is happening. His photo is there, his presence is there, he is present there spiritually all the time. His consciousness was all the time in Vrindavan. Such a important service he's doing for the Guru Parampara. And now also for initiation, everything is happening. Even though the odds are very great, he is achieving whatever his goals are. So that is the kind of determination and of faith that spiritual will overcome material. Many times, like you can see even Parikshit Maharaj's case. Imagine a young king who's, in the prime of his youth, is ruling the country very nicely as a pure devotee, as a service he's doing. And then all of a sudden, the injustice of it all, one, proud Brahmana's son cursing him like that. It seems too much. It's too rude. It's shocking, in fact. But Parikshit Maharaj was also always being directed by the Lord. And the Lord wanted him to come back. He had him something greater value, the greater service, which is to listen to Bhagavatam and give it to not only just those few years as a king he'll be ruling, but for humanity for years to come, for the entire Kali Yuga, for all the people. Parikshit Maharaj has done such a great service. So his spiritual thing actually is, he had his son installed, Janamejaya ruled after him. That was going on. But because of his complete faith, he didn't even waver. He didn't think, oh, what will happen to the kingdom, my family, what will happen to me? He never thought of any of those. Krishna said, okay, fine. Spiritual, everything. So that takes care of all material things as well. And actually, he got a very good destination. He's actually very fortunate that he could go back home, back to Godhead. And that too, his guru was Shukadeva Goswami, who actually personally spoke Bhagavatam just for him. And of course, others also benefited. So that is Srimad Bhagavatam's narrations. It inspires us to be completely, unconditionally surrendered to Krishna. To surrender unconditionally, and we have to have great faith that ultimately good will only win over bad, or spiritual will be, can overcome all material things. That faith we need to have. And faith in Krishna, faith in Guru, all these things are tested. And we have to take that. I mean, Krishna doesn't test beyond our capacity. And if we, that is the payment we need to make in order to qualify to go back home, back to Godhead. Because if we still are attached to material life and we still put some conditions, that means we are still attached. We're not qualified to go back home. Then, second, O king, give up the animalistic mentality of thinking, I'm going to die. So, see, unlike the body, you have not taken birth. There was not a time in the past when you did not exist, and you're not about to be destroyed. So, that's what we are thinking. Oh, Parikshit Maharaj, why he had to die? Such a young person, and he was doing very well. We will be, sympathizing and feeling sad for him. On the other hand, Sukadeva Goswami is saying that is animalistic thinking. On the other hand, think you're the spirit soul, you've never taken birth. There was not a time in the past when you did not exist and you're not about to be destroyed. You're eternal. So why should you worry? Oh, Brahmanas, just accept me as a completely surrendered soul. Because King Parikshit had stated, oh, Brahmanas, he had told all the rishis who had come there, just accept me as a completely surrendered soul and let Mother Ganges, representative of the Lord, also accept me in that way. For I've already taken the lotus feet of the Lord into my heart. Let the snake bird, or whatever magical thing the Brahmana created, bite me at once. I only desire that you all continue singing the deeds of Lord Vishnu. Just imagine, he was already, even before hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, King Parikshit was a Mahabhagavata, a great and pure devotee of Lord Krishna. There's actually no animalistic fear of death within the king. But for our sake, Shukadeva Goswami is speaking very strongly to his disciple, just as Lord Krishna speaks strongly to Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita. We also need some strong messages. Otherwise, we stay in our comfort zone. Material life means comfort, material comfort. It's not spiritual comfort, but material comfort. Everything should go happen, no changes, nothing untoward. Then I'll very peacefully do Krishna consciousness. That is a fact. We don't want material disturbances. But when they do happen, it may be that Krishna, it is the only purpose why he created this material world is simply so that we get purified and go back to Godhead. So when we are ready to go back to Godhead, then Krishna is completely managing our affairs. So we have to give up that fear and anxiety about what's going to happen. What's going to happen? That is only animalistic fear. Spiritually, everything is fine. And we have to, Krishna helps us to surrender to him. It's not easy to, to make spiritual progress. It's very difficult on our own. And only Krishna's mercy helps us to elevate us, to give us strength, to depend on Krishna. And Parikshit Maharaj had that strength because he was such a devotee, a great and pure devotee of Lord Krishna. Naturally, he is grandson of Arjuna. What else you expect from him? And Shukadeva Goswami, this is the Guru's duty to tell us about the truth. No trying to soft pedal and say, okay, sometimes we try to appease people. That's in the beginning. Appeasement is given. Krishna also appeases the devotees first. Whatever material things they demand, it's given appeasement so that we'll stick on to devotional service. And then gradually Krishna knows how to operate so that somehow we become more attached to him. We develop desire to serve him. That is the only thing which will make the Lord come into our heart. And that's what Parikshit Maharaj, he already had the Supreme Lord in his heart. And that for that, we just have to do everything in a service mood. And Krishna helps us. Don't try to enjoy. Don't be a fool. Guru Maharaj uses strong words about enjoying, even subtle things. He is repeating the words of Jiva Goswami or the Goswamis in saying that material sense enjoyment, even the subtle ones, are like hogs eating stool. So whatever we desire for sense gratification is like hog eating stool. So that is how condemnable it is. And of course, for those who are not yet ready, who are not anywhere thinking that they want to go back to Godhead, they are allowed to be in the illusion, thinking just like the hog eating stool thinks it's very tasty and very nice. I'm so happy, so much stool to eat. They are allowed to do that because they're not yet ready. But if we come to Krishna consciousness and we have got initiation on top of that, then we are on the fast track, and naturally Krishna is working on us to help us surrender and do everything in a service mode, to be his servant. That's all. Only work has to be done internally in our heart. We don't have to externally struggle so much. Internally, that's very tough. But that is the most important thing. We are tricked into thinking, oh, devotional service is very easy. What is there? Just chant Hare Krishna, 16 rounds you complete, and then eat, okay, prasad. That's it. Very easy. We make it very easy. We are supposed to, that is not enough. 4 regulative principles, rock bottom level. But we have to develop a service attitude to Krishna. in all our material activities also, so that material gets purified. And but then the enjoying tendency is very strong in the mind, in our senses. That's the difficulty, and that we have to work on from within the heart. We don't need to take any great austerities physically. That is no help. I'll go visit all the dhams and I will do this, and that's all for beginners. After doing all that, only you get the opportunity or um, ability even to chant Hare Krishna mantra. Not everybody is able to chant because it's it's the final stage, take-off stage. And so in the beginning, people get purified through bathing in all the rivers, visiting all the holy dhams, visiting temples. That's all for beginners. Then when you're actually chanting Hare Krishna mantra, then physical austerities are not so important. Simply we just kid ourselves into thinking, I'm also doing devotional service. I will do everything physically, and all the austerities, sevas also, simply using the body. But where is the mind? So we have to concentrate more on the mental aspect, where we want to completely remove the subtle body so that it's burnt out and we can experience our relationship with Krishna. So that is why our chanting has to become the most important thing in our life, because that is internal purification. Some people will say, tell me any service I'll do, but don't tell me to chant and all that. So that is, then they make it themselves. I'm doing, in fact, you know what? You're all simply chanting. Actually doing seva. I'm doing so many things. But that is not the qualification to finally be ready to go back to Godhead. The final thing is that it is our consciousness, how we're ready to do whatever Krishna wants, finished. That's a state of mind. And that's why we might think, why these Babajis and these Goswamis, they were just sitting in one place and chanting finally. How we are running around doing so many things. They were only sitting and chanting. So we may also think like that. The thing is that Krishna doesn't really need our services. He can just himself get everything done. He's allowing us so that through those services, we develop a attitude of service to him. Just when Goswami is sitting somewhere, that itself by Krishna, he can do so much good to the world just by his presence. So many devotees so many things may happen simply by his presence over there. So that is how powerful chanting Hare Krishna mantra is. The more we surrender to Krishna, the more we make our Krishna consciousness more sublime and from within the heart, then more things will happen more automatically. Then we have to struggle so much. Struggle is still, we are thinking, I'm the doer. I only did everything. Without me, how this can happen? Those are all still bodily attachment. And the service, we are allowed to do service, we should be very grateful. Whatever physical services we get, there's no distinction like that. Any service is great for Krishna. But the most important is through that service, we work on our mood. How am I serving? Is it, first of all, I'm not the doer. Somehow Krishna is allowing me to do this service. So humility, no pride or taking credits, and that's not the reason for service. Service is simply to establish a relationship with Guru and Krishna. So the final instructions are very strong. And so we must, it will be like that. It's very much for our quick progress for the final moment. You will not take birth again in the form of your sons and grandsons, like a sprout taking birth from a seed and then generating a new seed. Rather, you are entirely distinct from the material body and its paraphernalia in the same way that fire is distinct from its fuel. Purport. Sometimes one dreams of being reborn as the son of one's son in the hope of perpetually remaining in the same material family. As stated in the Shruti mantra, Pita Putrena Pitraman Yoni Yonau. A father has a father in a son, because he may take birth in his own as his own grandson. The purpose of Srimad Bhagavatam is spiritual liberation and not the foolish prolonging of the illusion of bodily identification that is clearly stated in this verse. So Krishna facilitates all this. People get so attached because they want to be immortal in the same body. They can't bear to think of losing this body. That's why asuras always, when they do tapasya, the first thing they'll ask is immortality. In the same body, I should live forever. And so Krishna, you have these Pitriloka and all that, where so attached to their family members. First of all, they'll go to Pitriloka to be with all their Pitras. That too, it's not even a gross body, subtle body, but you feel so nice. Oh, my so and so is there. I will also go. And of course, then you hope to be reborn in the same family. All these things happen. Actually, if you see many of the connections we have, relationships we have in this life is related to what we did in the past life. And many of them would have been in our past life also connected with us, because the karma has to be worked out. Now, whatever we did to them, they have to give back to us. So you have to be connected. And plus, material attachment is also there. So for Parikshit Maharaj, he had already gone beyond all that. Pure devotional service means, just like the fire is different. Normally, fire and fuel, um, as long as,
he was
in his
telling me
case,
actually.
in the form, so he's telling, you will not take birth again in the form of your sons and grandsons, like a sprout taking birth from a seed and then generating a new seed, right? The sprout, grows into a plant, and the plant has seeds, and the seeds become plants, and then again, those seeds create another plant. So there is continuity like that from one plant only, one seed. There is constant, coming back of the different souls. So in the same way it happens. And for him, he's saying that it's not going to happen in your case, because he has completely, imagine, he is in the exalted family of the Pandavas, of the Kurus, and still he had no attachment materially. Spiritually, yes, he was greatly proud of his father, grandfather, all that. But that is for spiritual reasons. Rather, you're entirely distinct from the material body and its paraphernalia in the same way that fire is distinct from its fuel. When it's burning, you think fire and fuel are same, right? Connected. Like the wood is burning, then you think wood and fire are, together. But actually, fire is distinct from the fuel. Fire is separate. Like, because they say even in the RNA wood, wood has got latent fire in it. But actually, fire is separate from wood. So, in the same way, he's saying now you are completely detached from your body. So you will not take birth again. So that is the only condition for not having to take birth again. Understand, I have nothing to do with this body or mind. Swapne yata shiraschedam panchatvadhi atmana swayam. Yes, oh, sorry. Tell me, how many verses have you done?
I read all of them, Mataji. Full chapter I read actually. It's a small chapter.
Full chapter.
Yeah, it's a small Mataji. It is not many verses. Yeah.
In a dream, one can see his own head being cut off, and thus understand that his actual self is standing apart from the dream experience. Similarly, While awake, one can see that his body is a product of the 5 material elements. Therefore, it is to be understood that the actual self, the soul, is distinct from the body it observes and is unborn and immortal. So again, one material, this is all for us. He told them, you're not identifying, and still he is continuing to explain. So in the dream, we actually see our head being cut off. So that seems, how is it possible? Because we are separate from that dream. And same way, this material life itself is like a dream, because it is factually happening, but the dream is that we are identifying ourselves with our body, which we are not. We are actually part and parcel of Krishna and our servant. So we can similarly, how we are separate from the dream, we are also separate from this body. And so we can observe, somebody was saying when Guru Maharaj, he had, when his foot, some many years back, he had hurt or something in his foot, and it was bandaged, but they didn't remove it on time. And so water had gone there, gotten into the bandage. And what happened was, it was rotting, the foot. At the right time, they removed it. Otherwise, they said gangrene would have set in. And that time, the servants were mentioning the way he was looking, observing his leg, as if it's not even his leg. So the self-realized soul, so we can see he was watching as if, something is watching, some object. It's not even his body. So that, that is his body only, but it's not his body also, because he completely identifies himself as a soul. While awake, one can see that his body is a product of the 5 material elements. Therefore, it is to be understood that the actual self, the soul, is distinct from the body it observes and is unborn and immortal. We are watching our whole body, then how can we be the body? We use the eyes to see, but we say my body. We don't say I body. So we are distinct from this body and our mind also. Gate binne gatakasha akasha syad yata pura evam dehe mrite jivo brahma sampadyate puna. When a pot is broken, the portion of sky within the pot remains as the element sky, just as before. In the same way, when the gross and subtle bodies die, the living entity within resumes the spiritual identity. So that, when we die, automatically, what here it's saying is, in the same way, when the gross and subtle bodies die, the living entity within resumes its spiritual identity. Normally, only the gross body dies, but the subtle body is intact, clinging to the soul. And we take on another body based on that subtle body, another body, and another body. But only when the subtle body dies, then the living entity resumes the spiritual identity. So we are just in the process of killing our subtle body. Material body is a product of, of the subtle body. Only because subtle body has got all these desires, we got a gross body. And this gross body is getting purified because we're chanting, eating prasadam and all that. But what about as long as the subtle body is there, the mind, the body will desire sense gratification. Mind also is running after sense gratification. Why? Because it's there. And only by turning to Krishna, because this is a material experience. The mind is material and spiritual is Krishna. And that's why the more we run to Krishna, the more we take shelter of him, the more we'll become detached from our mind. The more Krishna can control our mind, and then we can understand I'm not even this mind. And we will lose taste. for sense gratification through the mind. And only when the subtle body is completely finished off, then the soul will shine forth spiritually, because otherwise the subtle body is blocking our vision of truth, of ourselves and of Krishna. That is the truth. The body is a covering and it's untruth. And so, only because the subtle body exists, and only by chanting Hare Krishna and taking shelter of Krishna, begging him, please work on my subtle body. Even for bodily detachment, we had to pray to Krishna, right? We were so many people, I mean, all of us had some material attachment or something, either to food or to dress or our lifestyle or having not so good friends or whatever. We had bodily attachments, and only by chanting Hare Krishna mantra, Krishna took us out of that attachment. But getting rid of mental attachments are more difficult because it's so subtle. We can't see it, but it's there. And the mind is much more uh, powerful, strong. It is the chief of all the senses, and it's hidden. And we can't even recognize that it's a separate entity. It makes us believe that I'm only the mind. So that is why to recognize it and to come out of it is a very tough thing. But if we take shelter of Krishna, he can do it. And that is the only way we got rid of our physical, bodily attachments, now mental attachments also. And then we can resume our spiritual identity. Until we do that, we will run to all those mental attachments. And only by taking shelter of Krishna and begging for his mercy, we can come out of them. The material bodies, qualities, and activities of the spirit soul are created by the material mind. That mind is itself created by the illusory potency of the Supreme Lord, and thus the soul assumes material existence. Krishna only created everything for us, material mind, material body. Why? Because we desired it. And now we have to prove to Krishna, no, Krishna, I really don't want all that. Whatever you've done, thank you. I've learned my lessons. And I want now to be with the truth. For that also, waking up takes time, because we still hoping against hope that by doing devotional service, I can still enjoy this material world. What is the hurry? I'll do devotional service. Some more lifetimes, I'll do devotional service and be happy here, enjoy, and do devotional service, get a better and better birth, go up to heavenly planets, maybe become a Brahma also. What is the hurry to go back to Godhead? That may be, and there are some devotees like that. Prabhupada said, some of my disciples will go to the heavenly planets. So they might think, now all these years, okay, I did all nonsense. Now I'll do devotional service and then I can enjoy material world. But the thing is that what is that enjoyment? It's illusory. So when you know it, something is illusion. Like it's some people who are sleeping and they know it's a dream. Somebody wakes up, no, 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 don't disturb me. Let me dream more. So they know it's dream and still they want to be dreaming. But somebody will think, oh, it's just a dream. Let me get up. So that is intelligence to understand, why should I sit through dream? It's going to be over and it's not even true. Truth is much better, much more exciting, right? Just like being awake is far more enjoyable than just dreaming. Some people, it may seem dream is very nice, especially if it's a nice dream. You're enjoying whatever you want, then you think, let me dream. What does it matter whether it's not real? Then why you want to be in that dream? Illusion. A lamp functions as such. And then don't think always you'll dream. Suppose you want to be dreaming, then it may switch. That happy dream might switch to bad dream. Then what happens? Then you'll want to come out of it, right? But you may not. If you have not, if you've gone to deep sleep, then you'll be forced to also dream bad dreams. That is horrible. That's as much suffering as reality, isn't it? I mean, when you're not reality, when you're awake, that suffering In a dream, maybe it's not real, but the suffering is the same. You'll think, oh, somebody, I mean, the pain and the whatever, it's the same. It's not any different. The misery that you feel, bad dreams are very, very, it's this thing. So we cannot, there's no guarantee that always you'll have a nice dream. So why should we want to dream? Whereas reality, there is no more suffering. If we wake up and we serve Krishna, then there is no more suffering. The soul within the body is self-luminous and is separate from the visible gross body and invisible subtle body. It remains as the fixed basis of changing bodily existence, just as the ethereal sky is the unchanging background of material transformation. Therefore, the soul is endless and without material comparison. Now, what is the soul? Within the body is self-luminous, not like the body. Body has no light, whereas the soul is full of light and is separate from the visible gross body and invisible subtle body. It remains as the fixed basis of changing bodily existence, because without the soul, body cannot function. So the basis is the soul, but it has nothing to do with the body or mind. Just as the ethereal sky is the unchanging background of material transformation. So everything is happening on the sky is unchanged, but the clouds, sun, so many things happening there. So therefore, the soul is endless and without material comparison. My dear king, by constantly meditating upon the Supreme Lord Vasudeva, and by applying clear and logical intelligence, you should carefully consider your true self and how it is situated within the material body. The snake bird Takshaka, sent by the curse of the Brahmana, will not burn your true self. The agents of death will never burn such a master of the self as you, for you've already conquered all dangers on your path back to Godhead. Real death is the covering of one's eternal Krishna consciousness. For the soul, material illusion is just like death. But Parikshit Maharaj had already destroyed all those dangers that threaten one's spiritual life, such as lust, envy, and fear. Sukadeva Goswami here congratulates the great saintly king who, as a pure devotee of Lord Krishna, homeward bound to the spiritual sky, was far from the reach of death. Death also is another illusion because soul doesn't die. And when someone is identifying himself with the soul, the body will not matter. He's separate from that. So something happens to the body, he will not experience any pain. So the death cannot do anything to the soul, and the agents of death will never burn such a master of the self as you. So the soul, for you have already conquered, because those who are identifying with the body, then they'll feel that, I'm being killed, that pain will be there. But someone who's completely self-realized, he will not suffer at all. He'll just watch, oh, my body is being killed by the Takshaka, that's all. Burn, so Aham Brahma, you should consider, I'm non-different from the absolute truth, the supreme abode. The supreme abode, and that absolute truth, the supreme destination, is non-different from me. Thus, resigning yourself to the supreme soul, who's free from all material misidentifications, you'll not even notice the snake bird Takshaka when he approaches with his poison-filled fangs and bites your foot. Nor will you see your dying body or the material world around you, because you will have realized yourself to be separate from them. So it is not going to affect him at all. And that's why sometimes, people, beginner, new devotees may have this question. Why should Parikshit Maharaj, who's such a great devotee, suffer such things? Why can a Brahmana curse him? And and imagine being bitten by a snake bird and all that. Why didn't Krishna protect him? So, for a higher cause, it didn't even affect him. That snake bird came, is saying that nothing is, you will not even be aware of it. Something, because the body is like a dress. Suppose you're wearing a dress and somebody is cutting the dress from behind, it will not affect you. You're not even the dress. Those who are, so in the same way, for him, is completely separate from his body. So somebody comes and bites and burns and all that, it won't even affect him. Because you will, nor will you see your dying body or the material world around you, because you will have realized yourself to be separate from them. Beloved king, see how much he loves him. Finally, he kept on saying, my dear Parikshit, my dear Parikshit, my dear Parikshit. And now he is saying, beloved King Parikshit, I've narrated to you the topics you originally inquired about, the pastimes of Lord Hari, the supreme soul of the universe. Now, what more do you wish to hear? In his commentary on this text, Srila Jiva Goswami has elaborately demonstrated by citing many Bhagavatam verses the exalted devotional position of King Parikshit, who was fully determined to fix his mind upon Lord Krishna and go back home, back to Godhead. So Parikshit Maharaj in birth also is exalted. Krishna entered the womb and showed him, I'm here. He protected him personally. Who will get Krishna personally? In the womb only you can see the Lord. Then how exalted he must be. How self-realized. Birth also Krishna. Death also amazing. That, Sukadeva Goswami, all the time he was absorbed in hearing about Krishna. And he was in ecstasy. And he didn't even notice, oh, Takshaka came and bit me, I'm dying, nothing. He was thinking of Krishna and then soul going back to Godhead. So he's really very amazing personality. So Sukadeva Goswami is doing it like a great service for him, out of deep love for him. Now, what more do you wish to hear? Is asking. Thus end the purports of the humble servants of His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, to the 12th canto, 5th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, entitled Sukadeva Goswami's Final Instructions to Maharaja Parikshit. So, it's all meant for us. And so we can understand the value, the truth about all this. And that is what is most exciting, or that is the cause for our happiness. The happiness is thinking about Krishna, doing everything for his service. If our concentration, if our mind is concentrated on, I want to do everything as a service for Guru and Krishna, then see how blissful we'll be even while doing all material activities. We'll not even be bothered about what is happening. Not bothered in the sense of, we will be concerned if there is something that we should do, but their problems and the difficulties and the things will not affect us, because we are getting a higher happiness from within of being a servant of Krishna. How can I serve? Any service is good enough. Anything, all the time, the devotee becomes very, very attached to serving Krishna. And we know Guru Maharaj cannot keep quiet 1 minute also. All the time he's got too many services, first of all. And on top of that, he is like that. Even while he's lying on the bed, all the time he's thinking about what so many different people, how to help them. And not only that, even the nurses and the doctors, he's telling them to chant and preaching to them from the bed. So that is how the soul is. The pure soul is getting an inner happiness of serving Krishna. And material things don't mean anything for them. That is why Guru Maharaj could endure all this. This is a living example. Who can endure such life? And he still wants to continue living just for us because he knows we need him. We may not even understand how much we need him, but he knows we need him. And for that sake, he is staying on in this helpless, horrible situation materially. So many problems, difficulties, pains, and staying in the hospital. All this horrible conditions just to bring for us, like how Shukadeva Goswami is, did for, through Parikshit for us. He knows because we need pure devotees. What will we do if he's not there? You can you imagine in Kali Yuga? Horrible. We want someone representative of the absolute truth so that we can fix our mind. Yes, this is the purpose of life. This is reality. This is truth. And I want this more than anything else. And then we can actually be happy. And not only that, we can also help other people. That's most important. Just for ourselves, we live. I followed 4 regulative principles. I chanted 16 rounds. And Prabhupada said, if you just do this all your life, he'll come and take me. But how selfish that is, only for yourself. Become a little more purified. So you do some preaching, talking to others, care about others so that others can also benefit. Only I'll go back to Godhead. Prabhupada, rock bottom, 30%, 5% he'll put grace marks and take me. And that is very, very selfish. I won't do anything. I'll do rock bottom minimum and Krishna should do everything for me. That is very, very depraved kind of thinking. We should think, Krishna, please purify me so that not only can I be happy, but I can help others also. We should feel that it is emergency time. Things are getting decadent very fast. There are many good people, but there are also opposite side, many bad people also, and they are trying to, create confusion and make sure that nobody advances. So we have to fight. Otherwise, Kali, it is his yuga, and these people will become strong. They have more strength. We have to struggle more because this is the age of Kali. And we have to bring Krishna into this age. Then very, very difficult. We have to struggle. And then Kali's agents are ready to strike us. Right? They don't want us to succeed. So we have to be strong and fight this war. And we have to fight together so that we have the strength. Okay, Hare Krishna, thank you very much. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisance, Mataji.
Please accept my humble obeisances. Yes.
Mataji, that day when Maharaj Parikshit put that dead snake on the neck of the rishi, I heard, and please correct me if I'm wrong, that day he wore a mukut, and then it was not his regular mukut actually. And then when he came back, he was, and when he took out the mukut, he was like, how come he did like that? He's not that kind of person who can do that kind of thing. So he was inquiring whose mukut was that, he wore. Then he found out it was the Duryodhan's mukut actually. So
could be so
was
many things synchronized. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, Mataji. So I heard in childhood actually, because in Bhagavatam, yes. So then he was like, oh, this is what it happened. Because that day he went to his forefather's room where all the mukuts were there, and he liked that mukut. That mukut was very good and full of ornaments and golds and all those things. So that is, I was thinking like, he's a Mahabhagavatam, right? I mean, how come he thought of doing that also, like.
Hare Krishna, Mataji,
Dandavat Pranam. Yes.
Mataji, if somebody lost their funds, Mataji, then how they can chant Harinam? How they can chant Hare Krishna?
Lost what? Somebody lost?
जीवा जिससे बोलते हैं हम लोग, अगर वही नहीं रहेगा तो हम कैसे चैंट कर सकते हैं भगवान का नाम?
chanting beads.
नो, कैसे हम लोग चैंट कर सकते हैं भगवान का नाम, हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र कैसे कैसे चैंट कर सकते हैं?
सब लोग
हमारे जीवन रहेगा तो
नहीं, कौन कैसे चांट कर सकते हैं?
जिनके पास जीव नहीं रहेगा, जो बोल नहीं सकते माता जी, वो कैसे चैंटिंग कर
वो
सकते हैं?
बोल नहीं सकते तो वो सुन सकते हैं ना।
सुन
तो
सकते हैं ना
जपा,
माता जी?
हाँ
तो वो मतलब उनको तो कृष्णा के पास वापस जाएंगे वो?
हाँ, क्यों नहीं। वो यदि प्रभुपाद का जपा डाल के वो सुनते
हाँ,
हैं
ओके,
तो हाँ, उससे भी जा सकते हैं।
अच्छा। क्योंकि एक लोग ने वो बोला था कि जो बोल नहीं सकता वो जाएगा ही नहीं। मैंने बोला जो बोल ही नहीं सकता वो क्यों नहीं जाएगा? मतलब अगर वो भगवान का फॉलो कर रहा है, चैंटिंग अगर सुन रहा है, वो सुन तो सकता है ना, वो
वो
देख सकता है
हमसे भी
भगवान
और आगे
को।
जाएंगे, क्योंकि वो सुन रहे हैं। हम तो बोल
हम्म,
रहे हैं लेकिन सुनते नहीं। वो तो सुनेगा ही,
अच्छा,
पूरी फुल कंसंट्रेशन सुनेगा तो जल्दी उसका ये होगा।
ठीक है। और माता जी एक चीज और माता जी, जैसे वेद और ये वेद पुराण जो मतलब माता जी जो भी पुराण अपने हैं, ऋग्वेद और यजुर्वेद, सामवेद, अथर्ववेद, जो भी अपने पास वेद है, महापुराण जो भी अपने पास पुराण है, उन सब में से भागवतम सबसे ऊंचा है माता जी?
हाँ,
अच्छा। माता जी बहुत लोगों को भागवतम
भागवतम।
के बारे में पता ही नहीं, तो वो लोग बोलते हैं कि नहीं और गायत्री मंत्र माता जी के हाई लेवल पे आता है क्या?
हाँ, गायत्री मंत्र
हाई लेवल पे आता है क्या चैंट हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र से?
हाई लेवल नहीं, उसको चांट करने के लिए क्वालिफिकेशन चाहिए। हरे कृष्ण मंत्र तो कोई भी चांट कर सकते हैं, लेकिन एक्चुअली हरे कृष्ण मंत्र तो गायत्री मंत्र से भी और ज्यादा हमको दे सकता है भगवान से प्रेम। गोपी ये हरे कृष्ण मंत्र से कृष्ण प्रेम मिल सकता है। गायत्री मंत्र तो हमें मुक्ति प्रदान कर सकता है, सत्व गुण में आके हमें ये भौतिक आसक्ति ये निकाल सकता है, लिबरेशन, मुक्ति दे सकता है गायत्री मंत्र। लेकिन भक्ति और प्रेम पाने के लिए
माशाल्लाह।
हरे कृष्ण मंत्र।
ओके।
लेकिन हरे कृष्ण मंत्र तो कोई भी चांट कर सकता है, लेकिन गायत्री मंत्र के लिए थोड़ा तो क्वालिफिकेशन होना है। गुरु से मंत्र लेके ठीक तरह से चांट करने से ही उसमें कुछ लाभ मिलेगा। ऐसे नहीं कि ऐसे ही कोई भी चांट कर सकते हैं, नहीं।
ओके माता जी, ठीक है माता जी।
ओके, हरे कृष्ण। ओके,
Mataji, Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisance,
या
Mataji.
प्लीज एक्सप्लेन।
How are you, Mataji?
हाँ, ओके, हाँ,
Leg pains are reduced?
yeah. Pains are part of that cure also.
Hmm.
He's saying you will go through that pain before it becomes okay.
Okay, ma'am. And don't keep your legs always down, Mataji. Keep it little higher level, like, you know. Then
Yeah.
blood circulation will be better for you.
Hmm.
And please bless Mataji. Today's 10 or 11 devotees are taking initiation in Vrindavan. All of them are sitting in the ceremony. I think Bhakti Vijay Bhagavat Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Vijay Bhagavat Maharaj is explaining about the 4 regulative principles and all. Yesterday, you saw Mataji, Guru Maharaj came in the Zoom link night.
Oh, that I didn't see fully. Okay, he came, huh?
Yes, Mataji, after Mahavara Prabhu
Okay.
spoke,
That,
then
okay.
5 minutes Guru Maharaj was there online for all the devotees present in the Vrindavan, actually, I think, Mataji.
Oh,
He
very
was
nice. That's what
talking,
they
but
asked. Do you want Guru Maharaj to come? Marichi asked.
he came, Mataji. He came.
Oh, very nice. I hope today also he will come and bless them,
Yes, Mataji.
Or
He
maybe
was there.
he'll be watching
Yes,
when they are
Mataji.
getting the beads and all.
The beads and all, maybe, like, you know. He was
Yeah.
there. He spoke almost 4 to 5 minutes also, but could not understand what he's talking.
They
Eknath
didn't
Gauranga.
this thing, they didn't repeat
No,
or
Mataji, because he was
summarize.
in ICU, no? I think
Ah,
only face they showed,
maybe just
Mataji.
seeing him only would have been so nice.
Yes, Mataji.
Wonderful. Oh, from ICU, imagine. This is determination.
Yeah,
From ICU also is giving.
he had lot of pipes and all into nose, all these things. I think they covered him with the saffron cloth on his body also up to the chest, and we could see the Mataji. I
Just
think
see how
today
much.
they said he'll be discharged to the room. That is what they were telling.
Then Guru Maharaj will be available at 10 o'clock. He must be getting ready. Because only if you see him now, they will feel he is only
Yes.
taking the karma and all that.
Yes, ma'am.
But so, anyway, I
And
hope.
one more thing, yesterday Mahavara Prabhu was sharing, like, it was so critical, his situation. They all were sitting in the cafeteria and, they had a meeting with the doctors. Then suddenly they got a call, like, he need all the auspicious things, like whatever he received, like Ganga Jal, Vrindavan dust, and so many things, I think devotees have sent to Guru Maharaj. So these people were worried, like, what happened? What happened? Like that, they were started, running towards the ICU. But after that, they came to know he asked all these things. The patient who is passing his body next to him. And he asked Gita also. I want Gita, like, and he Prabhu was glorifying about Guru Maharaj, like, see, in that situation also he is thinking that person, he doesn't know his name, who is he also, he doesn't know, like, then I think they placed all the things on that person, Mataji, on his body.
See, he is not suffering actually because
Yes.
he knows he's not the body. Something like Parikshit Maharaj, Takshaka, Bhikshaka, nothing matters.
All these
He
things
is,
only for our purification, I think he's doing, Mataji. That is
yeah,
what I was feeling yesterday.
definitely. We are all serving, we are all chanting more, isn't it? Every time we all chant together, or everybody chants for him, then his health improves. It's all
Yes.
increasing our faith in
And
chanting itself.
we are going close to him also, Mataji. Like in this situation, no, like,
Mm.
always thinking of him, like that also, like,
Mm.
will be more attached to him. Will become like,
Yeah.
for him only. And you were mentioning about that leg, no, Mataji. I still remember in Madhya Pradesh, Muscat, when he came, his wound was so terrible. You remember, Mataji, he went from airport only to directly to the hospital. One orthopedic doctor was there in our devotees. What is Prabhu's name?
Mm.
Initiative name? Patnaik Prabhu. I
Yeah.
forgot his initiated name. I think.
He only
And
addressed it, na?
yeah, Madhuri, he took him to the hospital. He was doing dressing. You all people felt so terrible that wound was inside, but Guru Maharaj was so quiet. Just he was like, it is not his pain or something, like,
Yeah, that I remember Dr. Patnaik only, Gaurahari. He
yeah,
is the one who mentioned, he was just looking at his leg as if it doesn't even belong to him.
yeah. Yes, Madhuri.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for sharing. Oh, that part I didn't see yesterday. One
Immediately after
Mataji.
Mahavara Prabhu, he came, Mataji. And means they waited actually. I think almost 7 minutes. I think Eknath Prabhu was holding his phone and talking. Then Guru Maharaj came, Mataji.
Ah,
Today also
wonderful.
will come Mataji Guru Maharaj.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course.
we have to see
Which link
on
Mataji?
Facebook live, Mataji, now. Then initiation ceremony will be there. I think we can see Guru Maharaj.
Definitely, he will come and speak to them. He will only give the mantra. He'll make them repeat Hare Krishna, all that. So then it's like, and the beads, of course, there must have been chanted beads. But if just by seeing him only, the devotees will become, he knows that. That's why he has made himself ready for them. He told the doctors, I want to go to Vrindavan. And now he's come to Vrindavan through. Even that he was not able to do, no, in the ICU. He couldn't even come on Zoom.
Yes, Mataji.
Now at least he's able to come. That's very good. So nice. Imagine we have somebody living example of what is a pure devotee, no? We're very fortunate. Otherwise, how we can, yeah. Okay. Hare Krishna. Or a chat, or shall we go for? Today also Guru Maharaj will come. Yes, then where is the Zoom link? I want to see our Guru Maharaj. Yeah, in the Facebook, this thing, live, they have posted it. Basantaraga Mataji.
Last initiation was there, Mataji. I think mostly this also maybe YouTube also sometimes little late may come, Mataji, but it will be there. It will be there, Mataji. You have to check.
Yeah, they. I mean, all these in the JPS disciples and all those. One of those they will have. I'll post it in the group. Vinay Prabhu. You're checking from there only, na?
Thank you, Mataji. Please, Mataji, share the link.
Yeah. Okay. So we pray for His Holiness Jab Tak